Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, Paige. How are you doing?
I'm good. This is David Pay, and he is the artistic director at Music on Main. And we are so fortunate to have him carve a bit of time out to talk to us about Music on Main and the impact of COVID. So, David, can you give us a sort of top line overview for everyone about what Music on Main is and your connections with the music community?
Yeah, so Music on Main is a concert series, and we have a festival called the Modulus Festival. We sort of exist within the classical music realm, but we're really committed to the music of our time. So if Mozart was writing today, what would Mozart be writing? So we're working with composers, we're working with performers, and we're also, our mission is music that brings us together. So we're also really dedicated to intimate spaces. So generally our concerts aren't larger than 150 people. And we gather people together, we have a chance to chat, have a glass of wine, listen to some really great music, and have one of those rare times when you can just turn your phone off and not check messages and just be present. So we create intimate environments around classical music, all with the goal of building community.
That's amazing. And so given that you had this whole concert series, it goes yearly, tell us about your first reaction, what went through your mind as the co-founder of such an amazing series, what when COVID-19 rolled out and there was a reduction in the ability for people to be together. What was your reaction?
Well, we were watching it roll out in the slow way that it was on the West Coast, in Vancouver at least. Seattle had been hit a bit earlier. We had a weekly series happening at Fox Cabaret. We started at Christchurch Cathedral actually and had over 450 people for a concert there. And then the next week, people were starting to whisper about discomfort with this idea of the virus coming. And we had a string quartet at the Fox Cabaret on Main Street. And we had some emerging musicians play, and then we had a classical pianist play. And each week we're really paying attention to what's happening. And that last week was March 10th, a Tuesday on March 10th. And we had a lower than usual attendance, but we still had good attendance. And the woman who was playing was from London. She hasn't been able to get home yet, so she's still here in Vancouver. She could have gone home. She has a mum here as well, but she knew she wouldn't be able to go back and forth to help care for her mother.
Yeah.
But so she's still in Vancouver. And on the 10th, we hadn't heard from any audience members saying they were not coming because of their fear of the virus until the 10th of March. And then one of our elders said, I'm just not comfortable being in a room with 100 other people. And so that was the first time that we had somebody say they weren't ready to go out because of the virus. Now imagine Tuesday, the 10th of March, and then the 11th, and then the 12th, and before dinner on March 12th and after dinner on March 12th, before Bonnie Henry had made the announcement that you should self-isolate if you return from abroad. And then March 13th comes, and then the new week comes. So it was hitting us. We were very lucky that we had finished a major run of concerts. We also had another co-production in play at that moment that was supposed to run until that Saturday and then reopen again on the 18th of March and have another 5 shows, a theatrical run. So those had to get canceled. We closed down the office. Like everybody, it just hit us really, really hard. We had about 10 cancellations we had to do quite quickly. The first cancellation we made was for an artist from abroad. When the announcement came about self-isolation, we had to cancel her because she wouldn't have been able to be our artist in residence. And then CDC was one of our venues. They also made a decision early on not to have any public events in their space. So we knew those cancellations were coming, and those were for March and April. So we all, like so many offices, we're all working from home. We're trying to figure out how to continue to support artists and to help ensure that performing artists still have some income and some opportunities to perform. We generally don't present in the summer, but we're trying to figure out some opportunities there. And we've been really lucky from a cash perspective in that we had enough that we can continue to pay our staff for now. And there have been a few advances from government agencies as well. So next year's money has been dispersed already to us so that we can cash flow the summers in the arts.
What are some creative ways that you're working with your artists, and are the artists doing some creative things that are impressing you on the side?
There are some really beautiful ideas that came up very quickly and things that continue to roll out. So 6 weeks ago when this all started, Mark Haney at Little Chamber Music Series That Could, he started isolation commissions. And for $200, you can commission an artist to make a video for you, and they'll, you don't get to say, play this piece and do that. It's just a short video. It's a way to get some cash into the hands of artists, and they're all up on YouTube. And these isolation commissions came out very quickly, and to see an artist himself who cares deeply about the performers he engages come up with a way to get cash in the hands of artists, I thought was a really amazing and quick response. We're also seeing a ton of house concerts, people broadcasting from their homes. And I think I'm sensing that we're starting to have a little bit of fatigue around the low production values of that. In Music on Main, we talked at the beginning, like, should we quickly try to change our Canteen concert series, which is a professionally shot series, to musicians shot in their own kitchen. And we decided not to do that for Music on Main. We have a YouTube channel with more than 100 videos on it, and they're all really well shot. They're really great sound. And so we knew other people were going to fill that gap of that sort of creative impulse to share and connect music immediately. We're in conversation with artistic directors around the world around what they're going to do and how they're going to pivot this summer and this fall. And I think in a lot of these situations, there's this beautiful impetus, as I talked about, to share the music, and this creative force that comes out of that. But we're still needing to figure out some ways that we can feel music in our bones, that we can, music resonates inside our bodies. We have these chambers that actually get filled with music, whether it's the thumping of a bass or the soaring of a violin. And so trying to figure out ways that we can create online experiences, or eventually small audience experiences, where we can still feel that and we can start to feel that connection. So there have been immediate responses, but I think that we're also in a moment right now of some sort of continuous innovation around how those responses are going to carry forward for the next few months.
Yeah. I worry about that concert experience being eliminated. Like my head goes there, and that ability to, go to your first concert and experience the rush. What do you think may happen post-COVID for people?
Well, I think immediately post-COVID, it's going to be different. And during COVID, and it's going to last much longer than we sort of are thinking. We're starting to talk about what this fall in 2020 is going to look like, with the flu season returning and with probably a surge in COVID. When a vaccine comes, it'll take a while to roll out, and then people will still have the memory and the trauma and the stress of these moments as well. And you hear somebody cough in the park when you're out for a walk, and it's allergy season, but you're still freaked out that somebody coughed. I mean, imagine when you're back in a concert hall and you hear somebody cough. So I think there's going to be a sort of a gradual shift. I feel really confident that in 5-6 years' time, we'll be back in that concert hall, we'll be back in that venue, whether it's with a rock band or a string quartet. We will get back there. We always have as a civilization. So what's going to happen in the meantime? It's kind of everybody's guess right now. I think that I know that we are going to see concerts start up again this summer, but in very small ways, with different presenters. Big festivals like the Jazz Fest have had to cancel. Any place that really relies on both the revenues and the experience of large groups of people gathering together, that's over for this year. But this need to connect with the arts, whether it's theater, whether it's dance, to experience it with human beings, and also the need for artists to relay this information that they're doing to other bodies in the room. It changes the energy in the performance as well. So, when we see, a studio recording versus a live recording, we have these feelings about like, oh, that's really cool. Like there's something special about the live recording, and it's the audience and it's that communication there. So people are going to try to get back to it as soon as possible, but I think people are going to try to do it safely. So there's a theater company in Massachusetts that is going ahead with their summer series. They're taking out every second row. You can only book 2 or 3 seats together, then there'll be space between the next seats. So they're reducing their capacity by 30%, and she's hoping she can break even if she sells up 30% of the hall, different entrances for different rows. So people are coming up with some physical strategies like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then companies like Music on Main, we're trying to imagine, how do we have a hybrid between digital programming and live programming, which is what we're all about? How do we have a hybrid, and how can we be responsive? You know, right now, you couldn't have a concert this weekend in Vancouver, but maybe in a month, you could do something. So we're trying to play out all sorts of different scenarios of what will be possible. But I think that need that, you know, I love reading the Greeks. You know, they sort of wrote about everything that we're experiencing today and yesterday and tomorrow. And you go back and you look at these ancient plays and you think, yeah, they were performed as social commentary and as public service in these giant amphitheaters filled with thousands of people. It's been happening for thousands of years. It will come back. We need it.
What do you think your positive takeaway will be, even though right now it's you're hampered by this completely and totally, more so than even most industries?
I think some of the positive things I think really are about the connection, you know, that people are talking about looking after each other. People are talking about caring for their neighbors, caring for their colleagues, caring, you know, not just for their loved ones. And I think that there's also a slowness that's happening right now that I can't imagine any of the 3 of us on this line often get to experience. We're hearing birds more. We're noticing the blossoms more. When you're in a fortunate and lucky position that you aren't having to worry about food on the table, and when you have some space around you and you have all that luck and privilege that comes with that. I think I always have sensed that people in our community express gratitude for their lives, but people are talking on a daily basis about this deep gratitude. And I think that feeling of gratitude and connection and sort of caring and, you know, what matters most, I think that's going to hang on for a while.
Yeah, it's like a reset button.
It really is. It really is.